You're on.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters. Do you exercise enough? When you exercise, are you maximizing your efforts by exercising efficiently and effectively? If the answer to either of those questions, especially the latter one, is no, I have a solution for you. The answer lies in using a heart rate monitor. Heart rate monitors can be useful whether you're the average Joe trying to get in shape or whether you're an elite athlete trying to prepare for the next race. This evening, I'd like to share with you a little history on heart rate monitors, how to use a heart rate monitor, and then describe how you can use the heart rate monitor to maximize your exercising efforts. The idea for a heart rate monitor came about in the mid-1970s by a Finnish professor named Seppo Sainajakangis, who was trying to find a way to record heart rate to assist in the training of the Finnish cross-country skiing team. Cross-country skiing being a very popular sport in Finland. Therefore, with some research done at the electronics laboratory in the University of Oulu in Finland, Polar Electro was founded in 1977 to develop a heart rate monitor. By 1979, Polar had applied for a patent for their heart rate monitor, and by 1982, they were producing and selling wireless heart rate monitors. Now, as you can imagine, like any piece of equipment, improvements in technology have also led to improvements in the design of heart rate monitors. Many of the early monitors needed additional components such as battery boxes in order to assist in the functioning. Most current heart rate monitors have 3 pieces of equipment, and I will demonstrate with my monitor, which happens to be a Polar monitor, because that was the monitor that's our partner brand with our wellness program with our insurance, and it was also recommended to me by one of my trainers, Rob. The first part is actually an elastic strap that goes around your waist, and the elastic strap has a couple electrodes which detect the heart rate signal. Now, normally the strap goes underneath your clothing and against your skin, but for easier demonstration, I'm just going to put it around my clothing this evening to make it easier to help. Sorry to disappoint some of you. And it just has a hook like that. So, the second part of the heart rate monitor is actually a compact transmitter, which I hold in my hand, and it takes the signal from the electrodes and records it, and it snaps very nicely on the front of the strap, and I'll go on this side so you can see it. The third and final piece is the training computer, which usually comes in the form of a watch. Now, my watch is not dead, I just have it in sleep mode because you don't see any statistics. There are a number of styles of watches that allow you to record different pieces of information for different circumstances. For example, there are some heart rate monitors that are devoted to cyclists and cycling. I like this one that I have because I can show 3 different pieces of information at the same time, such as my heart rate, the number of calories I've burned, and how long I've been working out. So it's very nice in that regard. Now that you have some information on what a heart rate monitor is and how to operate the heart rate monitor, you might be asking yourself, how do I use a heart rate monitor monitor to maximize my workouts and not make them irrelevant. I just want to quickly touch upon a couple reasons why I think a heart rate monitor is important before going into the information that will help you maximize your workout. First of all, with the heart being a very important organ in your body, it's a key physiological measure by measuring your heart rate, and therefore that becomes a critical biofeedback tool in your exercising effort. In addition, with continuous periods of exercise, your heart muscle can actually increase its capacity, and therefore you can take on additional tasks without stress or strain. The key to using the heart rate monitor is knowing the various fitness zones in which your heart rate falls. And the fitness zones are based upon your maximum heart rate. A simple formula for determining your maximum heart rate would be to subtract your age from the number 220. So for my age of 37, my maximum heart rate is 220 minus 37, or 183. Now I will go through the 5 fitness zones with you. The first zone is the very light or daily activity zone, and this goes from 50 to 60% of your maximum heart rate. This zone is very good for improving your general fitness. Some examples of exercises are if you take a brisk walk, or if you're lifting some moderate weights, you will get your heart rate within this zone. And exercise should not be labored when you're within this zone. The next zone I'd like to talk about is the health or recovery zone, which is from 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. In this zone, if you can do it consistently, you will experience weight loss, and this is the zone where it's an excellent capacity of what I just talked about with making your heart rate stronger if you continuously do your workouts and your heart rate falls within this zone. So usually some exercises I'm doing when I get into this zone are some, not lifting the heaviest amount I can lift, but pretty close to it. Or if I'm doing some power walking, then I generally fall into this zone. The third zone that I'll mention is called the aerobic zone, which goes from 70 to 80% of your maximum heart rate. This zone is very good for improving your overall cardiovascular fitness. Exercises that fall into this zone, here's where you have to start jogging a little bit, or if you're doing pretty much your maximum weight and you're not taking any rest periods, that's when you fall into this zone. Otherwise, if you do some exercises such as step-ups or squats or lunges with the weights where you're actually moving around while lifting the weights, then you fall into this zone. The fourth zone is the anaerobic zone, which is 80 to 90% of your maximum heart rate. This zone is a popular zone for general fitness, and also allows you to build your lactic acid system, because the glycogen that stores it in your muscles releases when you're working out in this zone. Now at this zone you're generally running, or again you'd have to do, when you're doing exercises with weights, you'd have to do it in such a manner that you're doing very rapid movement to really increase that heart rate. And I should mention that actually the aerobic zone is a popular zone for, the most popular zone for exercise fitness. Now the final zone I want to mention is called the red line zone, and it's from 90 to 100% of your maximum heart rate. Obviously, with such a high intensity, you can't keep exercising in this zone for a very long period of time. Since I've obtained the heart rate monitor, the only time I've ever come into this zone is when I'm sprinting, and so probably sprinting a couple laps on the track at the gym I work out in. That's about as long as I'll get in this zone. Now that you know more information about heart rate monitors and how to use a heart rate monitor to measure your fitness based upon your heart rate, you can now perform your workouts more effectively and efficiently. Using your time in a better manner will not only, I believe, encourage you to do more workouts, but they protect one of your body's most valuable assets, your heart's health. So I challenge all of you to use a heart rate monitor and start living your life better today. Madam Toastmaster.